First District Representative and member of the opposition Virgin Islands Party, the Honorable Andrew Foy, thinks there should be a separate legislation governing the National Health Insurance Scheme. Government published the Social Security NHI Regulations 2015 in the Gazette on December 29 last year to provide for the efficient administration of the NHI system. The regulations, which set out provisions to guide the implementation of the Social Security Amendment Act 2014, took effect on January 1 this year and addresses the procedures governing the registration of employers and beneficiaries, contributions, records, and various related provisions.
NHI is needed.
Yes.
NHI is something that is necessary. But we have to make sure that we do it right. And we have to make sure that, that we can sustain it. I am a firm believer that a full debate of the House of Assembly should have been had. I remember in the late 2015, the Minister of Health moved to have the Social Security Act amended, as he stated, to usher in the NHI. I was of the firm belief that on the heels of that, legislation for NHI would have followed. I cannot see, no matter how much I research, how it is best for NHI not to have its own legislation. It is not like Social Security. It is a totally different entity.
The NHI is designed to improve health outcomes and provide financial risk protection by ensuring that every resident of the Virgin Islands will have affordable access to the health services they need. Foy says he is for NHI, but further questions the level of preparation and remuneration for medical practitioners under the system.
We really and truly don't compensate our medical people compared to other parts of the world in terms of what they would make. But if we're going to ask them to do more, it cannot be asking medical people to do more with less, because it just doesn't work out that way for healthcare. Lately, we are hearing about this supplemental insurance, and I'm a firm believer that that came from the fact that doctors have decided, especially specialists, that I am charging, for example, as an example, $10. So not, despite you have NHI, I'm charging $10. So if NHI cap is only, say, $5.50, the question is, how will people get out of $4.50 to make up the $10 and to pay the professionals? And the supplementary insurance is being promoted that will take care of that. Well, there are a few aspects of that that I would never explain to the people before, in that who will be paying for the supplementary insurance? Of course, the people. And at the end of the day, how can we be guaranteed that the supplementary insurance will also have a cap also? And decide that out of that $4.50, I'm going to give you $1.50, $1.50. So you cannot reach to this point of implementation with NHI and all of a sudden adding in certain things that are going to require money. I'm not saying that new things would not have kinks and would have things to work out. That would be ignorant to say that. But what I'm saying that if this was properly discussed, with putting all the cards on the table and saying to the people, this is what we're going to do, and what we need from you is your input. These are the parameters that we're up against. This is what we want to achieve. Do I feel that in the end of the day we can get it achieved for quality healthcare here? The answer is yes. Do I think that it was implemented a little prematurely? The answer is yes. Can we afford for it not to work? The answer is no, or else we'll go bankrupt.
Failure to register by January 31st, 2016, or after 1 month after taking up residence in the territory, will result in a delay in coverage until contributions are fully paid up, plus a 3-month waiting period from the date of the application. The first district representative says more discussions were needed to help analyze the intricacies of NHI before its implementation.
I am not saying these things to be negative, not saying that change must not be done, because I'm one of those who believe that doing that is not an option. But when you have something as major of this coming on stream, it cannot be so good for the people that you cannot discuss all the intricacies about it with the House of Assembly and with the people in depth. Some would say, well, yes, there were meetings all around, but the meetings went simple. They came and told you what they wanted to tell you about NHI, And as they went along, if you ask me, things were being added, taken away. But if you bring it to the House of Assembly, once the laws are passed, then what is the law is the law. And no one can be changing it outside of the House of Assembly. And we want to make sure that we protect our people, because there are certain questions that I always was asking on the side that I was hoping that I would have been able to get to ask in the House of Assembly. That I shouldn't have to go look for outside of the House of Assembly as one of the lawmakers. For example, did we raise the money needed for the startup of NHI? So is NHI financially sound to start up? Because unlike Social Security, from day one there will be claims. And you can't stop people from getting sick. And there are going to be some carryover claims also from other insurances. There are a lot of dynamics that I felt that needed to be discussed as mature individuals. And this is nothing against anyone, because I truly feel the Minister of Health wants what's best for the healthcare. Or difference comes in our methodology and also our philosophy in a lot of areas. And in addition, all the other insurance companies have to be registered with Financial Services Commission in their section of the Financial Services Commission that deals with insurances. And my question is, why is this any different from NHI? I haven't got an explanation, because we weren't able to explain it fully in the House of Assembly, because I thought the legislation would have come and we would have discussed it. In addition, do we have laws in place to protect from any leaning, or I would say any further leaning by this administration into the people's Social Security money? We could be told many things, and we are told many things, we are assured many things with NHI, but in the absence of law, those things can change at any time.
Under the NHI legislation, an employer or resident who fails to register or provide appropriate notification of a change in work, family, or immigration status commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding $1,000 plus a further $100 for every day during which the offense has continued.